Hey YouTube, so I am back with another video. In today's video, I'm super excited to begin the first video of many. So this is going to be the start of my series Taj Talks videos. I'm so freaking excited. So basically, if you guys don't follow me on Snapchat, that's where I announced that I'm going to start doing these. I was just informing everyone that basically I'm going to ask you guys to send me in questions, scenarios, problems, anything like that, and I'm just going to answer them for you. So I feel like I give pretty good advice, and people always ask me for advice, people that know me like in real life. So I was like, you know what, why not open up my YouTube channel to actually giving out people advice, because I feel like that can actually end up helping somebody. So if you guys are interested in this particular topic, then keep on watching. So for the first question, I don't know if I'm going to answer 2 questions in this video or just one, because I don't want this video to be super long. So with that being said, let me just hurry up and get started, okay? So I'm going to read out her question. So this question reads, I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but shout out to you, you know who you are, that sent me this question. Thank you for sending it to me. So here it is. So she asked, have you ever dealt with depression? I feel like you go, okay, hold on. Okay, be serious. So she says, have you ever dealt with depression? I feel you a lot through your videos, and I wonder if we have any similarities. I've dealt with heavy ass depression, and it's a battle every day. People always misunderstand how depression makes one feel. I'm always getting told that I have an attitude, but I don't. LOL. My depression causes a lot of emotional sensitive buttons to form. Okay, so that's the end of her question. So the first thing that she said was, have I ever dealt with depression? So I guess we're gonna get deep today, guys. You guys, I really don't be like getting too personal on my channel, but I guess this is gonna be the start. I don't know how my hair looks because I'm kind of far back, but so yeah, her first question was, have I ever dealt with depression? Actually, I have. When I first read this question, I was like, let me go on Google and type in depression, and so I can give you guys a real definition of depression, because a lot of people say that they're depressed or this, that, and the third, but are you really depressed? You know what I mean? So I just typed in depression, and I'm just going to look up the definition. Okay, so guys, I looked up the definition of depression, and it says a mental condition characterized by feelings of severe dejection, typically also with feelings of inadequacy and guilt, often accompanied by lack of energy and a disturbance of appetite and sleep. So that's like one of the definitions. Of course, there's a lot of definitions of depression or anything, but that's the definition that I looked at. And so I feel like I actually have been depressed before, or I went through like a time of feeling depressed basically. And this was like when I was in school, not in college, but like in like middle high school type time. I feel like this is gonna sound weird, I don't know if y'all agree, but I literally feel like everybody goes through a time of depression around that age. And I don't know what it is. It's like you just feel like everything's the end of the world, or you feel like you're never gonna recover from it, or everything's going bad for you, or everything is just trash. Like, I feel like that's literally how I felt at that time, and I feel like so many people felt that way. I'm 21 right now, and when I was going through that was the time of when Tumblr was a big thing. I don't know if y'all know what Tumblr is, but that's when Tumblr was really big or whatever. And everybody on Tumblr was like, not everybody was my age, but it was a lot of young people in there, and they were always making posts about being depressed and depression and everything. And I was just like, wow, like I feel like so many people go through this at a young age, and I don't know why I was even depressed. Like, nothing really tragic happened to me. I guess it was like, I don't know, I feel like it was just because I didn't really know who I was, so to speak. Like, I feel like I didn't know who I was. I feel like I was alone. I feel like I didn't have no friends. I felt like I wasn't really close with my family at the time. And yeah, like, it was hard, but I'm not gonna go too deep into it because like it was really so long ago, and I don't really think about that time in my life, and I don't really want to like keep talking about it or whatever. But I feel like everybody goes through some form of depression. Some is more severe than others. Some people are in it longer than others. Some people, you know, it takes a larger toll on them. So I definitely can understand your question. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I understand like how it feels to be depressed. And more than that, I've dealt with a lot of other people that were depressed, like in my life that I knew, or it was like you know, like a boyfriend, maybe he was depressed, or a friend, she was depressed, and so I was kind of like their shoulder to lean on. So I know how people get. And so yeah, I definitely understand depression. And to answer your question, you were like, you said, I feel you a lot through your videos and I wonder if we have any similarities. I'm glad you guys can relate to me, by the way. And then she also said, I dealt with depression and it's a battle every day. People always misunderstand how depression makes one feel. So yeah, I really do feel like people do misunderstand how depression is. Some people just brush it under the rug and are like, oh, you're not depressed, you're just sad, or oh, it's not that serious. But depression can really take a toll on you. I feel like so many people at a young age, even 21, whatever age you are, I don't know how old she is, but a lot of people think about suicide. A lot of people think about all types of crazy stuff, and that's not good. And like when I first read that question, my first advice to you was going to be tell you to build your relationship with God. Like, I know that sounds cliche, but I promise y'all, if you have a good relationship with God, like none of that stuff will be able to phase you. Or it maybe it's going to phase you, but it's not going to destroy you. It's not going to defeat you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really my freaking advice. Like, at a time when I was depressed, or whatever you want to call it, when I was going through my stuff, I was not close to God at all whatsoever. Like, not at all. I didn't even pray. So yeah, I wasn't even praying at the time. My relationship with God was trash. I never talked to him. I never really cared about going to church. I used to hate going to church at that time. But that's really like the best advice I can give you, is to build your relationship with God. And I don't know what your family life is like, but build your relationship with your family. Just basically get rid of all the negative stuff in your life, or at least try to, because depression always roots from something, whether you're consciously knowing about it or not. Like I said, for me, I don't really know, or I don't really want to even think that far deep into the reason why I was depressed or whatever, but it's definitely always a root to it. And maybe if you even go to counseling, y'all know what's so crazy, like I don't even talk about it, or I don't even think about it, but I even went to counseling at one point. And that's so crazy when I think about it, because I just never thought, it's like I'm a whole different person right now, basically is what I'm saying. Like, that whole part of my life is like, it's like a whole nother life, literally. It's so weird, like, when I think about it. But I went to counseling. You will definitely, you know, even if you don't go to counseling, you could sit at home and you could just trace back moments in your life and try to figure out where is the root of the depression coming from. And either you can get rid of it if you're still in your life, or try to come to what's the word, you can try to get closure with it, whatever it is. Like, basically deal with it. Like, don't just keep suppressing it, because that's where I feel like depression comes from, basically is what I'm saying. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. And then she also said I always get told that I have an attitude, but I don't. And then she said my depression can cause a lot of emotional and sensitive buttons to form. So I definitely get the whole attitude thing. Some people will just never understand you. Like, some people will just never understand. Some people always had a good life, and some people really just don't get that people struggle. You know what I'm saying? So they might see that you have they might think that you have an attitude, but maybe you just have your walls up, or maybe you just, that's just the type of person that you are, or maybe you just don't feel like talking. Like, when I was depressed, I did not really like talking to mad people about nothing really. Like, I was just to myself. And then I feel like depression can cause you to want to be isolated, and that's like even worse, because if you're just isolated to yourself, how are you ever going to really, you know, get better, you know? So yeah, people probably are like, oh, you have an attitude, but maybe they just don't understand you. Maybe you should try to give them the opportunity to get to understand you, or to get to know you, because maybe the attitude is the outer facade, you know, that you have, but you probably not even doing it on purpose. It's just kind of like resting bitch face. Like, you know how people are like, oh, you have resting bitch face, but, and they think that you're probably mean or whatever, but when you get to know you, you're not. It's kind of like that, I feel like, if that makes sense. And then the last thing that she said was, I already just said it. But yeah, and then she said her depression can cause a lot of emotions and sensitive buttons to be pushed or whatever. Basically, she's sensitive to certain things and she's emotional to certain things. So like I said, I also totally understand that. I feel like, since I was saying, you know, everything comes back to, there's a root to every problem basically. So I feel like if you figure out what that root is, you won't be triggered so easily. Like I feel like those buttons that you're calling it are kind of like triggers, you know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that people probably say and do that triggers your emotions or triggers your attitude, so to speak, or triggers this, that, and the third. So whenever you just like self-reflect and you sit down and you look at yourself and you're just thinking like, why am I feeling depressed? Like, what really is it? And the quicker that you figure that out, the quicker that you resolve those issues, the better it will be for you. And I feel like that will really help you, you know, come out of your depression. Also, getting a better relationship with God. I don't know if you have a good one, bad one, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, of course it can always be better, you know what I mean? So I would definitely recommend that. I don't even know if you're religious or not, but that's just my take on it. And yeah, talk to him. You can pray that you're not depressed anymore. Like literally anything that you want out of life, if you pray for it, it will come to pass eventually. So I feel like I just said so much just now, but I don't even know if my advice was helpful or if I was just rambling or what. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. I'm glad that you feel like you can relate to me. Yeah, and depression is not fun. Depression is not cool. It's not, you know, it's not a joke. And like you said, some people don't take it seriously, but depression is really big. And I really hope that you know, aren't like come out of your depression. Like I feel bad. Like I feel like when YouTubers be doing these little advice videos, they don't really be having like compassion, but I really do. And I empathize and sympathize with you because I totally understand how that feels. And yeah, so hopefully this video helped you out. That was the purpose, is to help you out. So you can DM me back and let me know if it was helpful for you. Thank you for asking the question. And I'm trying to see, this video is pretty long, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and answer another question too, just because I want to give you guys kind of like a lot to watch at once. Like this is that type of like sit down and talk video. So yeah, so the second question I'm going to ask, or the second question I'm going to answer is, hi Taj, I'm 21 and I've never had a boyfriend and I'm fed up. Like guys that I like don't ever approach me and I don't know how to approach them. What should I do? So this is a good question. We're the same age, so I can definitely relate to you. Okay, so I wonder if you're in college or not. But even with that, I will say I have a lot of friends that actually have the same problem, and they're gorgeous girls. They, you know, there's nothing wrong with them. But yeah, so I don't know your situation more than what you other than what you told me. So I'm just gonna try to, like, you know, go off of that. But because that's not happened to me, I'm just gonna go off of like what I would tell my friends basically. So I feel like 21 is still pretty young. I know that I'm 21 too, so it's kind of like, girl, we're the same age. But I'm saying, like, to not have a boyfriend, I see what you're saying, because maybe I would probably feel some type of way too. But at the same time, a lot of the time guys are scared to approach girls, like literally, like, but believe it or not, most guys are not confident like that. 9 times out of 10, every time that I've been talked to, or every time a guy has approached me, it's been like via social media, through a friend, or in a group setting. Like, guys are sometimes scared. A lot of guys have told me that I'm intimidating, or I look mean, or I look stuck up, or they don't want to approach me, and so they literally don't. Like, so you never know, that might be the reason why they're not approaching you, and that might be the reason why certain guys are approaching you. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain guys, they just don't never get the memo that you wouldn't even be interested in them, so they just confident, which is great, I guess. But they're probably not the guy that you want to talk to. So I would say, this is me because I'm a bold person, I would approach him, or I would approach whoever it is that you are interested in, because you never know, that might, you know, start something up between y'all, and he might look at you like, oh, she's bold. A lot of guys like girls that are bold and that don't care about approaching a guy first. Hello? Alright, so yeah, a lot of guys actually like when girls are bold and they're not afraid to approach them, because, you know, what's the worst that can happen? They can say no and that's it. Like, I know a lot of people are probably scared of rejection, but personally me, I'm not really scared of rejection, because I don't know, I don't care that much. And plus, you know, say if it's a random guy that you never even, say if it's a random guy, you don't even know him, so if he rejects you, it's not really going to take a toll on you, you know what I'm saying, versus it being like somebody that you've been wanting for a long time. So I'll just say be spontaneous. You're only 21 years old. Approach a guy first. And also, you can do what guys be doing and send your friend to go ask him, because that's literally how dudes is. Like, they will really send their little stank friend over and ask to talk to you for them, instead of just doing it, you know, going straight to you. So, you know, whatever works for you, I definitely recommend that you just take a leap and just, you know, take a leap and what am I saying? Definitely recommend that you just take a leap and, you know, jump into the water and freaking attempt to talk to a guy, because, you know, like I said, what's the worst that can happen? Also, you can definitely hit them up on social media, or just simply get their Instagram. Like, say if you see a cute guy and you don't want to just full out like hit on him, or you don't want to full out like, you know, press him or whatever, just ask him for like his social media, and then from there you guys can like each other pictures or talk through Snapchat, and then that can also build a relationship or whatever the case is from there. So, you know, you're only 21. I wouldn't say be too pressed over not having a relationship, because like I said, I know a lot of girls, believe it or not, who actually never dated nobody neither, and, you know, it's not as rare as you probably think it is. And then the last thing I want to say before I finish out that question is, the key to also approaching guys and getting guys to approach you is just to show that you're confident. Whether that means you go approach him and you're confident while doing that, or the way that you walk in the room, you're confident. You got your head held high, you looking like you look good, you're not scared, you're just looking confident. And that really is noticeable to guys. They can definitely point out who's confident and who's not. They can definitely tell who's like secure with themselves. So I would definitely say, make sure when you walk in the room, when you see your crush or you see a guy that you like, you look confident while doing it. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all that I can really say. Be confident, approach them, or hit them up on social media. So I hope that really answers your questions. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. I will be doing this like weekly, I think, because I really like the idea of doing these types of videos. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions or scenarios, you can definitely DM me on Snapchat, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram. You can even leave them in the comments down below on this video, and I will get back to you, or I will screenshot it and save it for next video. So thank you guys, I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.